talk about my family.
I'll talk about your family. Listen, for years, people were going around saying, black is beautiful. They took one look at your family and said, hold everything.
Well, that's something you wouldn't understand. We have inner beauty.
Yeah, what?
Inner beauty.
Well, you better put your liver where your face is.
Fred Sanford, you are crude and evil, and most of all, you stupid.
How'd you like one across your lips?
Come on, try.
Come on now.
Come on, Stumpy.
Stumpy, I'm tall enough to give you 3 of these in your nose. Come on.
Oh, no, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Oh, no, you won't.
Now that is one of the good ones that the babies have done. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. We like to give you guys always something to smile about coming on the shows, but you know, with as much as is going on these days, so it's good to be able to find that in these baby AI videos are just really just going. I mean, you know, the genius part of that, you know, to pull all of that and pull it together is just an awesome thing. But anyway, so how's everybody doing this evening? You good?
I'm good.
Good. Charles, how you doing this evening?
I'm living.
You what?
I'm living.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'd hope so. Yeah, just going to get into our particulars real quick. Remember to support us. Number one, like, and share, like, and like. Hit that button, please. Hit that button. We want you to grow with us. We have been growing a long time now. We need you to grow with us. All right. So, information-wise, hey, it's a lot going on in this among humanity. Let me say that was about to say world. Among humanity, and you know, you really need to get in, guys. I'm telling you, get in deep. Supporting us financially, Cash App, as well as Venmo. The information is on the screen, and you can always send us an email at ttbttshow@gmail as well. Celebrating the show or adding opportunities for contributing in another way that you want to share with us as well in that part. So we love you, and thank you for all of your support that you've done thus far. Got some great shows coming up, some special guests that are going to really surprise you. I mean, going back to a member of the group Climax, me and all Paul meeting in the ladies' room. All right, I ain't gonna tell you who at the moment, but they'll be visiting the show pretty soon. Our faithful friend, Miss Coco Brown, #1 comedian in the country. All right, she will be back. She's been with us once or twice every year that we've been on. She's a great supporter of the show, so she'll be coming back soon. We have Charles's buddy, Dr. Nicole, will be visiting us too, giving you guys some balance in life. I mean, we're going to try to put a post out before she comes on, so you can have questions that you need to be answered by from a psychological standpoint of view, you know, and deal with that well. So we're excited about her coming up. So keep tuned in, all that great stuff. We're about to kick off the holiday season, you know, this weekend. Can you believe it? This weekend, you know how I am. 1st of November, that's it. I am in holiday mode, you know, up until the 12th of January. It's going to be different for a lot of people this year. You know, it's really going to be a difference for a lot of people this year in terms of that. Charles, I'm going to change the order just real quick because I think that I'm going to throw this little weird clip up real fast about how it's going to be different for people this year. And, you know, what they're already starting to do because it's going to be different for them this year, you know, in the ranks of that. So it is. But if you got things going on, guys, I mean, you got to find a way to survive. I mean, we're in survival mode and you need to really, you know, kind of consider and doing that for yourself. All right, let me show you this real quick and we're going on with our discussion.
Ma'am, stop right there. Put your hands on the car.
I'm not stealing! The president said I could have this food!
Ma'am, step away from the exit.
Y'all are harassing me for groceries! I didn't ring a thing up because it's free now!
That's not how it works. Turn around, place your hands behind your back.
No! You can't do this!
Cuffing left wrist.
This ain't over!
Huh?
Where's that store at? I need to get my groceries out.
I know, right? I know that's right. You know, but it is. I mean, you know, there's that point people in there, them Trump supporters. I don't know. We can't allegedly say she's a Trump supporter, but she did say the president told her this stuff was free. So it's some way in her mind, she's still waiting on the stimmy. She's still waiting on a stimmy that she ain't seen it. It ain't happening this direct. So she figures she go ahead and get the stuff out of the store before the stimmy comes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
But anyway, what's your point on her real quick? Then we can go on.
Yeah, keep hope alive. I think that's the only comment I can say. Just keep hope alive.
But the woman was stealing out of Walmart because the president told her so. Charles, what you got to say on the woman stealing out of the store?
Well, I don't blame her because Trump's stealing out the country. I mean, so why not? Him and his family.
You know,
Yeah, share the wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. So she said, I'm gonna go right on up here and get my groceries, you know. But it is a sad situation real fast, and we'll go on with the program being attacked like it is, you know, over political reasons. You know, it's just senseless, you know, for people to having to go through that. You know, I mean,
engineering through the president, but also engineering through the mega rich to divide and conquer. Now, you can see you can see people laughing and joking and pointing fingers at those who are unfortunately on the SNAP program. But don't get me wrong, every system has people abusing the system.
Yeah.
But my problem is that it's not funny until you're in this situation.
Yeah.
And it's sad though, but it's true. You got a lot of people who are saying, well, thank God, you know, you need to go get a job. Well, we all know there are people, some, not all, who are on the program who are using it and abusing it.
Right.
But that's not everybody.
Right. That's been going on for years.
You know? The culture of generalization or generalizing situations get us in a whole lot of trouble.
Yes,
and don't get me wrong. Hey, I have my moments, but the saddest thing about it is this is a moment where people are going to go hungry.
Yeah.
You got the elderly, you got our vets, you got the disabled.
Yes.
And you got not only SNAP, but you got WIC too. You got single mothers and babies right now. Right. Exactly. So I mean, hey, I understand the situation. Yes. But there is a way to get around this, and your man in the White House knows this, unless he has used up all his money. But the saddest thing about it is, though, he's willing to hold people hostage right now, for a simple vote, which is not even needed because the Republicans, they run literally the House, the Senate, and everything at this point. So you know what? To each his own. Democrats, and I told y'all this some shows back. They need to keep it the government shut down. I'm just saying because honestly, what they're trying to do is they're trying to motivate the Democrats to come and do something that they themselves would have never did. Right, and that's come to an agreement about premiums and health care. They don't want to come to an agreement about keeping the Obamacare or the affordable health care going. Right. They just want to find a reason to gut it. Right. And they're gonna try this sucker shoot the Democrats, and that's just the way that these Republicans, especially Trump, is what he's trying to do. Right. But go ahead, I'm done.
Well, no. I mean, you're right about that. I think that the sad part about this is that the thought of having the government shut down, yes, but when the people that really need to be feeling the need of not having it, not having it, are already still getting paid. So I'm speaking about Congress and everything else. See, and it's not fair. It's not fair for the rest of Americans that do work for the government, because everybody work for the government is not bad, or and they're not on a political platform, but they've been politicized because of what's going on and in the political arena, that they can't balance and make decisions that will benefit all. They don't want to do that because of socialism. But anyway, it's so true. Charles, go ahead. Real quick. You have something?
Well, the Congress is still, Senate still, and Trump is still getting paid. TSA is not getting paid. They have to go to do the food lines in order to feed their families and not get a check. You also got to remember our National Guard are out there. They're not getting paid, but ICE people are getting paid and getting paid very well to be out there harassing everyone. Right.
And that's something.
Hey, air controllers are not getting paid.
No, TSA is not getting paid.
Yep. Air traffic controllers. They won't feel it till it comes time for the holidays and they ain't got no flights. Trying to go home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm in that group. I'm trying to get to Chicago for the holiday. Well, actually, the 1st of December, I'm going to spend a whole month up in Chicago. But the sad part is, we're hurting the people who don't, and even with the SNAP, the majority of those are the elderly, the children, the handicapped, and majority of those are in the red states. Those are the people that get hurt. It's not really talking about he's going to do FEMA for just the red states, the people who have hurricanes and so forth. He's not going to do that for the blue states, only the red states. See, this is how you divide a country, divide and conquer. And then you got these knuckleheads out here. I hate to say this, these ignorant black folks who are talking about, well, you need a National Guard out here in order to bring the crime down. What do you, and I say this every week. What are you doing to help? You're so busy pointing at everybody else, but what are you doing? How are you contributing to helping us get through these crises and these low moments in the country? Too many people want to hand it off and wait for Uncle Sam and everybody else to take care of their problems. When all it is, it takes a lot of us. When people in your neighborhood robbing and stealing, hey, say who you saw, who it is. Don't. That's not my problem. It's not me. But as soon as your family member gets killed or they break in your house and you get up, ain't nobody gonna help. No. Hey, you got to walk it like you talk it.
Yes, it's true.
Well, you know what? You got a video for that and where that rooted from too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, they're gonna play. He's gonna
he's
gonna play that video because that's what you just said is where it roots from. Go ahead.
Where it roots from. It should have, but see, we don't want to accept that. You know, at the end of the day, but this is a clip from I guess it was probably 1964. You know, I think it was before the March on Washington. So, and this is at a time where the I don't know how can I say it. They're not a religious group. This group, there was a movement, that was surfacing during the time of the Civil Rights Movement, and they had stands against the thing that the Civil Rights Movement was doing. But most of all, they didn't like the way that the quote unquote black church was trying to lead black people down a pathway of non-success. You know, so but anyway. This gentleman is really proficient in what he's saying about it. A young guy. Here it is.
I'd like to direct a question to Reverend Mitchell. Do you think that we will be satisfied with the jobs they are giving us?
Yes, son, I think so. Simply because we are asking that you be trained on the job, and they start you off with a certain salary starting rates, and you will be promoted up to the maximum of the job.
No, I don't believe that. The white man is going to keep you where he got you. You're not going no higher than he wants you to go. And we ain't going to settle for nothing but all the way. And about this violence and non-violence, I'm for violence. Because we have pleaded for the last 400 years.
What would you say to a boy like that? Because this happens to be, coincidentally, the young man in the group that Mr. Meek said you did not speak for. How would you talk to a young boy like that?
Well, I would say I would definitely have to use the Bible, Mr. Duncan.
No, I don't hear that.
Well, this is my own way.
I ain't no Uncle Tom.
Well, salvation
you
is
can't
free,
brainwash me.
Jesus said, first ye seek the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all of these things will be added.
Heaven is on earth, mind you, brother.
Where you gonna go when we start revolution? Whose side are you gonna be on? Are you still gonna be on your knees begging for us jobs?
I will, as Mr. Meek said, he wouldn't die standing on his feet rather than to die on his knees. I will die standing up for God, regardless of any circumstance.
Okay. Have God ever told you to let this white man rule you like he is?
Well, young man, you first must be born again. God is a spirit.
No, I ain't born again. I ain't got to be born again. See, I was born in a new generation. Your mother could have brainwashed you, but can't nobody brainwash me. I'm ready. It's gonna take young boys like us to win the revolution.
Very to the point, very controversial. And I don't mean controversial in the Christian way. I don't mean controversial like that. I mean controversial as the truth behind the truth. Okay. And this statement and this moment in time was the catalyst for what we're seeing exactly right now.
That was out of Chicago too, wasn't it, Charles? That was out of Chicago. Wasn't that out of Chicago? But you know what's so sad about that situation, though, is the fact that shows the dysfunction of the black community right there in front of white folks. I'm so sorry, but I'm just going to call it for what it is. That is entertainment to them. That's entertainment. When we can't get to an agreement about something, when we're calling each other out of our names, that's the 6 o'clock entertainment for white folks to say, well, you know, I told you so. They can't get to a situation of number one, you see how different that the Christian narrative came up against two young boys that are living in a situation of poverty and trying to figure out things. You can't even come to a solution because the Bible's now been thrown in your face. And then you got the other side calling you out your name, and then there's nothing to work towards. That's dysfunction. And that still happens to this day. It happens on our news 24-hour news cycle, CNN, the dysfunction. You notice on Abby Phillips' show, that is still being used. The black Republican guy against the liberal black woman. That is the dysfunction that they like to see us at. Because when you have that type of dysfunction, it deflects from the situation that is actually going on. It's an entertainment of deflection, and we fall so into that hole of just ridiculousness. Because at the end of the day, I always say, and this is what's going on right now, even in Chicago, you got the blacks who support Trump.
Keep the conversation.
You got those who like Trump, and there's nothing wrong in liking Trump. But why do we have to call each other out, saying you get off the Democratic plantation and all this other stuff? Why can't we come behind closed doors and get things organized and solutions met? But that, I feel like, is always going to be the entertainment for our palm-colored sisters and brothers to see us in that type of light. How do you feel about that, Charles?
I'm with the young men. We've been on our knees for too long. We always begging and pleading, and I say it every week. We can fill trucks with prayers and won't get nowhere. We can pray every day for forever and still won't get not 1 inch closer to the justice or the freedom or independence that we desire. You know, a lot of us are, how do I put this? A lot of us are in our own bubble and we caught up. True, violence is a last resort, and I think that we can get there without it. But the sad part is they went into the Capitol, tore up the Capitol.
Oh, yes.
Injured police, law enforcement, hurt them, and they got pardoned. Now you're going to tell us we should be quiet and take what we get. When you didn't like what you got, you went there and you tore things up. And then the man in charge let you go because he felt like, hey, you was just expressing yourself. But as Trump said, it was a love fest.
And you knew they were going to get away with that now. See, when I saw them storm the Capitol, I said, well, you see, ain't nobody got shot yet. They got up the stairs and into the doors.
Yeah.
With this skin color, you thought we would even hit the front steps or the first step or the second steps. It would have been a massacre. It would have been reason.
It would. He'd have called the National Guard in. If the black folks had been there, he'd have called the National Guard in, had them shooting. It'd have been another Kent State. I can see it happening in front of me. They don't, I ain't gonna say they. People that are in charge or with the advantage are always trying to subjugate those at the bottom with so-called logic. But the logic is flawed. It doesn't work. You can't tell me that I gotta suck trash and kiss behind in order to elevate my family, to support them, to get a better life for my children, to have the opportunities that other folks have. It just doesn't work that way. And now that you gotten rid of DEI, which basically worked for white women, and you gotten rid of affirmative action, which is for the most part
the same. It ain't never the same.
This is the part that killed me. You can white South Africans can come to this country with no problem. Can jump the system. They're above the Hispanics and everybody. They can jump the system and come right here, no problems. But black South Africans cannot go anywhere. And then Trump says that $40 billion he gave to Argentina is because they're suffering. They're really struggling. But what about the people here who aren't eating? The SNAP program with the elderly, the disabled, and the children aren't eating. And these people still don't say nothing about it. They feel Trump is the answer. And then they always say, well, people want to live on welfare. Believe me, bro, I've been on welfare. If I have, it's not as easy as you think. I was a working actor and needed food. They gave me some money, but as soon as my check started coming in, they was chopping my food stamps. They would, and I would go there and ask them, why'd you chop it so soon? They go, we saw you got a check. They know when you get paid. You can't go in there and fool them. They know what you're doing. They know when it comes in. So you think you can go in there and buy your Mercedes and then go pick up food stamps? It don't work that way. It just doesn't work.
It's just the fact that a lot of people are ignorant to that type of life and the things that people have to go through. You know, I was thinking about the movie Claudine when you was talking, and the fact that you know that situation was and that was an educational moment for at least for Black folks when it came down to the welfare system and how she was having to hide things that were new and electronics and stuff because she knew if they were to find that out, she would be off or out of the program, even if there was a man in the house. She couldn't have a man in the house. But you know, one thing I will say this: it will take. What are you doing? It would take something like this to wake up people's situations, and it's gonna this type of situation is gonna definitely wake up people who do not understand that politics has everything to do in your situation. I even said this even on my job today. I said people don't understand that what we do, where we work, how we make our money is political. And if you don't understand the power of politics, because we don't put money behind politics. Now that's where this is where we as Black folks get it all the way messed up. We really do not put money behind politicians. We don't invest. We don't invest. So if we don't invest, why work? Why
we don't invest with our finances? We don't invest with our time. We don't invest with our intellect or our knowledge. We don't invest. We always think that we have to sit back and wait. I tell some people all the time. My personal example is my production page and social media. I post political things. My business partner asked me, please don't do that because we have to talk to people about work. Man, don't you know that our work is political? You can't just run and hide. When people say shut up and dribble, excuse me, but I still pay taxes. I still own a home. I still invest into Social Security. I still pay Medicaid. So I'm not going to shut up. You shut up and live in your house and go live where you live. Don't tell me what I can't do.
I mean, did you see the way even during Trump's first term with the Kaepernick kneel?
Yes.
If politics wasn't so powerful, why did at least all of the Black NFL players kneel? Why? And not only Black, but whites as well. If politics wasn't as powerful, but then you had those who were such in fear because the owners who were Trump supporters and who had invested in Trump's first and probably in his second win too, told them if they were to kneel that would off their careers. Why is that? I thought business was a free enterprise. I thought the government or the politicians, whatever that, the government was not supposed to interfere in business or in free enterprise. Right. Just like what you just said with the Argentina situation. I thought when Trump was running, it was America first.
No, yeah.
So where's the America first in that decision with Argentina? When you got cattle ranchers who are needing subsidies and money to keep
we're the first one to take away from. That's what it is. We're the first ones they rob. Trump's family has enriched themselves with over $10 billion since he got in office. Come on, man. But yet they were upset over Hunter Biden making $5 million for doing a job. But yet Jared Kushner is holding a hedge fund for over $1 billion that he gets paid for with the Saudis. Trump has already gotten a plane. He's got a golf course. He's gotten a hotel land over in Russia to do a deal. And I'm still trying to figure out where do people finally say, hey, this dude's enriching himself, not us.
And the MAGA people say, well, he's taking a pay cut anyway because he's not getting paid enough to be our president.
Cut. What?
That's what the MAGA people say. But, he's taking a pay cut anyway. He's doing it all for free.
This level of
so why not can he get paid?
Amazing to me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, this level of stupidity is amazing to me. I have just never ever thought in my lifetime that I would see such a high level of stupidity.
I wanted to say lived where I grew up.
Oh no, but I'm serious. I mean, it's just like, you will fight anything that comes to you to tell you the element of the true truth and back it up and say, well, and give an excuse for the lie. I mean, and I don't get that. It baffles me. Because I mean, I have more hope in society that they at least would think a little bit when something's put in front of their face. But obviously, it doesn't. I mean, at all. It's crazy to me. I don't get it.
I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers.
That's
Well,
what it
I
said.
don't know about that anymore because did you find out what Bezos did?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Did you find out what Bezos
14,000 people are being laid off or losing their jobs from Amazon, from his corporate level, second level management. About to give him a walking paper.
But yet he rented a city to do his wedding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He could have paid their salaries. If that's the case, he could have paid their salaries. But once he paid for Venice, he could have paid them folks' salaries for at least the next 5 years. I mean, it's but that, and we can go back into that, like when we both worked for CBS at the time, and CBS, unfortunately, they allowed the CEO of CBS at that time, gave him the money, which they should have never gave him the money in the first place.
Trump's reelection
$650 million. And that was given to CBS for the employees to offset their life during COVID.
That's right.
Okay.
They said they were complaining about Obama having a basketball court. He paid for it. So I'm trying to figure out what's the problem. Some guy gets on social media and said, well, Obama spent $350 million on a basketball court. He took the tennis courts, took the net down, and put 2 hoops up. That does not cost $350 million.
They sure did. The
goalpost is always pushed.
Yeah, like you said,
if you can't blame Clinton or Bush, you can always go to the first black president. See, that's going to always be a situation with Obama.
Right.
Blame the first.
Right.
Because he was never supposed to be the first.
Right.
But use black voices to do it too.
Yeah.
See, that's the kicker. Use black voice to get your point across. To get because see, that's what I was just saying. Even in that clip, the dysfunction in that clip is to always use black voices to tear another black voice down in front of a whole room full of white folks. That has always been in the situation within the mainstream media. Why can't you get your people under control with that Bible? What is your problem? What is their problem? Why are y'all always going against each other? And you're seeing it in Chicago with the Black Red Republican organization, along with Brandon, what's his name? The mayor of Chicago.
Brandon Johnson.
The rhetoric is so disgusting because they cannot come to the room without tearing that man down, and he ain't tore them down yet.
Well,
but that's just the way. That's entertainment.
That when Martin Luther King was out, he had 36% approval in the black community. 36% approval. 36. They was like, "You gonna make it worse for us? You gonna make it bad? It's already bad. You gonna make it worse by making them upset. You out here marching and sitting in. You just gonna make things worse. We got it good right now."
But they used Malcolm X to tear him down in the beginning.
But Malcolm had to
realize the situation.
After the pilgrimage, Malcolm came back and said he had to even see it. Yeah. He saw the difference after he went over there and saw, after he went to Mecca and came back. He realized that they had pitted him against Martin Luther King. And they had the rumor is they had a talk. And he realized that he was wrong. Right. And that's why he knew he was going to be murdered.
And that's why at the end of the day, they both got off.
Right.
That was the worst thing they could have done, was get in a room and discuss, which is the problem with us as a community. Why can't we get in a room and discuss it? But hey, what do we know? Nothing. But the saddest thing about it is, I'm going to keep saying the black dysfunction is entertainment. Right. Well, it pays the bills for the American. Everybody's bills. Yes, it does. Okay. It does. Mainstream media, music, whatever you want to name it, it pays the bills. Right. Because the saddest thing about, who said this? Our love is weaponized, but our hatred is what really sells. Mm-hmm. They don't want to sell our love. They rather sell our dysfunction. Mm-hmm. And that is the problem that we, as some of us, Black folk, don't understand, including those young boys that was in that clip. We now call them YNs.
Yeah,
I mean the story never changes with that narrative. You got to have a bunch of YNs to control. But the saddest thing is that the reason why and going back to what you just said, Charles, about the state troopers into the community, that would have never happened if we had our own sit some of us down and have a conversation with, or get some things across with. But we can't get things across without that Bible and without talking condescendingly down to one another about, boy, you ain't where you supposed to be, and boy, you got a problem, and guy, what's your problem?
And Jesse Jackson ain't doing it, trying to make money off of us. That's all. And Al Sharpton, they just want to be seen. That's all. But I'm saying, this is the one thing I always say about it. True, even Al Sharpton admits he's falling short in a lot of instances, but he's humble enough to admit, I was wrong. Tawana Briley, that he was wrong. He said, I was duped into thinking I was doing the right thing, and I put my heart into it. Turns out it wasn't what I thought it was. So, and he's only human. He can't just foresee what's going on without actually going through it. And that's all of us. You can never get through something or get past something without going through it. You have to be in it to get past it. And a lot of us don't want to sacrifice. That's the key. They don't want to sacrifice.
Right.
You got to.
Well, you know, and I think in encapsulating and bringing it to our next clip, everything that you guys mentioned, you know, in the discussion there, which was absolutely true. And then you have people that stand in pulpits that bet us against one another. You know, what the young man was saying in the beginning of the clip as well. You know, that's what he was talking about. You're not going to use that Bible to brainwash me. But when you are brainwashed, which so many of us are, because of, I'm trying to be delicate about it, what we call the love of the faith, or the love of Christianity, or the love of that Bible, you know, we've lost our true identity in a lie. And that is the saddest part about all of that. But I'm going to play a clip real quick just to show how we've lost our identity in that. And I got another one behind this too, and speaking the same thing.
What's up, y'all? All right. So, share your thoughts on this. Bishop Patrick Wooten went in on Jasmine Crockett. And a lot of people may already know that, you know, Bishop Wooten is a Trump supporter. But share your thoughts on what he's had to say about Jasmine Crockett.
God is giving our women space. God's giving our women platform. But listen, when God gives you a platform, don't go hoochie. All right. Don't go ratchet. Don't go street. If God gives you a platform. One of the most famous or infamous, depends on how you see it, women in society today is Jasmine Crockett. Elected to office, and look at how she talks. Look at what she's brought. Just hood language for a lady. A lady. And you know what she's doing? She's living down to all of the ugly stereotypes that they put out there about black women. Preach. Just after service, Google her and listen to the things that she has to say.
She's a
I have
ratchet
not
bitch.
sponsored one piece of legislation or anything like that, and all she does is just the cussing and all this stuff for ladies.
Ratchet.
Now the black community,
She's from the
they're
project.
mad at Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. called out, and you know what it proved? If you disagree with them, just like they're doing with Stephen A., they campaign to get you silenced. They're telling us to boycott him because he checked Jasmine Crockett. What is that all about? You ought to be able to have a differing opinion and not be dismissed.
Well, don't be in the pulpit and be a sucker.
My first thing, and I'll let you guys, and I'll wrap it. I'm sorry, Charles, because what was that shit all about?
That's
Okay,
my
now,
point.
wait.
Don't be a sucker because you're in the pulpit. Like, geez, man, come on.
He had to make his money. He's making his money.
Go ahead. They make your point.
He's getting that money. Let me tell y'all something. Nowadays, have y'all noticed it's now in vogue for them to use black men to tear down black women?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's always got to be a Republican nitwit, a Republican I would call informant. You know, the saddest thing about Wooten, you know, he has talked about everybody underneath the sun, including Bishop Sheard, who runs the Kojic organization. He has talked about his wife and his sister-in-law, to the point that I'm still trying to figure out, how can you be up underneath an organization like that and talk about your I don't want to call him a boss, but your bishop's wife and their business moves? I don't get it. And if you don't know who Bishop Sheard is married to, he's married to Karen Clark, one of the youngest sisters of the Clark sisters, the legendary Clark sisters. But it's him. He's always been problematic, and he's going to stay problematic because he's getting money from those above him. I don't think he's getting money from the Kojic. He's getting money from somewhere else, the evangelicals, to spit this type of rhetoric about black people amongst black people. And he's not calling her to what you would call in the Christian way into some form of, let's pray for her, let's guide her, let's see what we can do to support. No, it's mess and it's dysfunction that keeps us going either back to that raggedy ass church or just wanting to and not getting nothing of substance. It's dysfunction that runs out in the streets into the neighborhoods from the church. That's sad. It's sad. That's the black dysfunction I was just talking about.
Right.
Mess.
Right.
Mess.
It's mess. This man has been problematic all the way back since when President Obama was President Obama. Okay, I mean, and probably further back than that.
He's getting paid.
Okay, yeah, well, okay, but the problem is inward. Okay, and it's an inward struggle that he has as an individual, and unfortunately, he has the ploy of that group of people that attend his church and that platform of that pulpit in front of him. So he takes that and manipulates it any way that he wants to manipulate it, okay? And say, well, why would you, and then we're going to go on because I don't want to get in heavy about this, but why would you take the opportunity as such to downplay a young woman that is making strides in an area that is going to help in some way? It may be 2%, but it's helping in some way to bring unity among black people. I mean, and then with that, trying to find unity among the other counterparts, okay? Yes, she made some things that you don't agree with, okay? But then there's a hell of a lot of things that you have said that people don't agree with, okay? So if she needs to call somebody a big back, blue blonde, or whatever that woman she called that woman at that particular time to drive a point, the woman deserved to be called that. And we're in a position now in society. Look, you need to call people out. You need to wake people up on their stupid ass stuff.
Black men to call this out.
We're right here.
We are here.
We're right here.
But where's enough of the black men to call this fool out,
right,
along with some other fools like Byron Donald, Tim Scott. You got you got these pundits even on Twitter and on CNN. All of this. When are enough? See, because that's not enough. We are not enough. Right. We are just only you got D.L. Hughley out there trying, and you got, don't get me wrong, he's trying. But then and Roland Martin too, but it's not enough of us. Right. Do you believe that a lot of black men feel this way about Jasmine Crockett? And if they don't feel this way about Jasmine Crockett, where is the arming to push back on this narrative? I mean, do anybody ever? Where's the narrative?
Go ahead, Charles. I'll say my point after you. Go ahead.
No, I'm with Dylan. I mean,
because it's not enough.
I said every week, you want to point out the window, but you never look in the mirror. You want to point at everybody else and tell what they doing and how they aim, but you ain't doing nothing but pointing and talking. Where does your contribution come in? I had a guy tell me after one of the shows, hit me up and goes on in my DMs and goes, you're on there talking that mess. What do? I work with people and advocate for human trafficking. I work with people for re-educating young folks who come up out of human trafficking. I work with other groups. What do you do? Where do you contribute? What are you putting into the group? But you don't see me up here hollering at people saying nobody's helping the young folks that's being trapped. No, I do my part. And I try to be aware and I try to enlighten folks who don't know or let them understand, the Angels of the Night and other organizations that are out there trying to help. But you get on here, you want to talk about people who are doing, who are participating. Where's your contribution? You're so busy talking. Where's yours?
Right.
We just I got to see another, Charles. I just got to see a bigger number than what I'm seeing right now. And then don't get me wrong, we're doing what we have to do. Right. We know what's right, and really what's wrong. Right. And I see the forest for the trees. Everybody who is spitting this narrative of gaslighting black people to believe that, y'all are still on the Democratic plantation. You got Jasmine Crockett talking like a hoochie. you know, y'all like y'all like Kamala Harris. Y'all wanted that woman in there. This ain't nothing but paid gaslighting for from whoever that might be within the MAGA or Republican or conservative organizations to get us to vote for them, to get them to maintain and to gain power through using black voices and ignorant black voices at best. Because if you look at them, most of the people who are speaking like this look like they're all on crack. And look like, and a little ashy and no teeth in the mouth. What's going on?
Well, here's the thing, you know, and I'm gonna say this, and those of you who don't like it, hey, I'm sorry. Okay, see what has and has always been in existence that we can kind of testify to ourselves is that around religion you move black people because of our lineage in what we consider faith in God and a misrepresentation understanding that. So anytime that you want to say something in a realm that you need to get us to move, guess where the politicians show up?
In the black church.
In the black church. Okay, because as long as you say to us that God said, we're gonna get on board. Long as you say to most of us that it came out of the Bible, we're gonna get on board. Number one, we don't study, we don't read, we don't educate, we don't know history, and the list goes on. Okay, but we take everything at face value that comes out of that book. Okay, it's a library, people. It's a collection of books that have been housed into one that have different stories from Genesis to Revelation that revelates people's lives in different situations. You have not lived through any of that. Okay, so how can you even align yourself with something that's there? Yes, it's alive. Yes, it's kicking. You know what? Because you fuel it. Okay, you fuel it with your misguidance, just like he's doing. And you got a group of people sitting up there saying amen to a young woman that's in Congress that is making strides and changes. Her delivery may on certain days may not be the way that you wanted to do based on your Christian belief. Okay, but this country is not Christian. Okay, if she got up there and cussed Congress out, go for it. If she got their attention, go for it.
No, why don't we? Where's the pushback on Trump? Where's the pushback when he says those things? Where's that pushback?
I'm saying that. I just said that.
You just said it.
Where are the black voices?
Well, what did I just say? What did I just say? What did I just say? I'm not saying like that, but you know what did I just say? That's where they are. Okay, and then they get mealy mouth about any and every other thing outside. Well, if it didn't come from the church, then it ain't real. You know, oh, please. All right.
Black dysfunction.
Exactly. So I know some of y'all don't like when I go against the quote unquote black church, but this is the reality of it in front of your face. Okay. And
Marvin Winans too.
And we can go on with the list of all of the behaviors that are out there that are coming from them. But all I'm saying to this is that y'all need to wake up. Okay, and stop just running to this little inward circle of idealistic behaviors. You need to change the way you think so the world can change behind you. Okay, but you're so afraid the guy to say, well, it didn't come from the scripture. I don't know if it's right or not. Okay, so this is where our problems start. Okay, because it's in our belief factors, and we act on what we believe. We act on literally what we believe. You go and you believe that your car starts every day you get in it, so you act on it. You stick the key in the ignition, or you push the key power, or whatever kind of car you drive, your bicycle. You believe that it works. So obviously, you believe that these behaviors that have been instituted from this institution is the motivator of change, but it ain't. It's tearing up society, and this is the reason. One of the major reasons, man, right here. That ain't all the things that he said from the damn pulpit. You know, and you got people sitting there, yeah, go ahead, pastor, preach. No, come on, wake up, people, wake up.
It's like the preacher last week. They drove his Bentley into the church and goes, the Bentley is for the church. And then when the parishioner says, can I drive? He goes, oh no, Jesus wouldn't like that.
Oh. And do you? And
you
listen,
go what?
The pimp keeps pimping.
Well,
how can you blame the pimp when the people like to be pimped?
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't feel bad for these people who go into these places and they get and they cannot do it unless the pastor says so. That's the pimp's playbook right there.
We got to go. We got to go. So I'm gonna play another clip right there. Since we're in this church mode, then we're gonna end up with our wonderful governor here that's trying to change America. Okay, we're gonna end up with him in just a minute, but. Listen to this guy, which he comes up quite frequent on our show, but this is kind of in line to what we're talking about in the idealistic way of why we are influenced the way that we are and why we shouldn't be influenced the way we are. And it goes back to where we even started with, when we started off the clip. But here
The flaw in that system is assuming that access to God was ever supposed to be monopolized. The verse you're using is spiritual elitism that they tricked you into believing is divine order. But let's break it down. If an all-loving creator designed billions of people across different languages, cultures, and time periods with spiritual experience that predates Christianity, so how arrogant is it to believe that only one path counts? Unless the man who wrote that verse also wrote the breath in every living being, designed every culture's intuition, and authored the spiritual encounters of people who never heard his name. So what he described as the only way might just be the only way he wanted you to know. But let me give you perspective. If someone claims their version of God is the only valid one, what they're really saying is that every sacred experience outside of their doctrine is either invalid, delusional, or demonic. And let's get this straight. When you all quote, "No one comes to the Father except through me," you're not quoting Jesus. But they needed you to think so, because if access to God could be meditated by an institution, then salvation can be structured, controlled, and sold. And if truth had really been sealed in that verse, you wouldn't need a preacher to explain it, a theologian to defend it, and a guilt trip just to believe it.
What you call truth behind the truth.
Yeah.
But that's religion wrapped up in all of that. It's based on control.
Absolutely.
And it's based on controlling the narrative of you are less and God is more. It has to be somebody over you.
Right.
Which is the reason why we are in this mess that we're in right now. You know, yeah, like I say, it's sad, but it's so true. Our culture is so wrapped up in the church because, to be honest with you, when we didn't have education, most of our education came from the church. And I hate to say this, but after slavery, those people who controlled our education were white teachers. Because you have to remind yourself, a lot of us did not know how to read or write in the first place. So they needed somebody to come down and teach us how to do so. So, you know, it is what it is. It's a bad trait that we picked up on as a culture, and we has passed it down for many generations, including during the civil rights movement. To this day, you have people who still cannot cut the apron string because they are so indoctrinated by that type of thinking.
You said indoctrinated. But go ahead, keep on.
That's all I had to say about it, because at the end of the day, this is why we're in this situation. We're always waiting through prayer for change to come. And prayer you can pray as and meditate as much as you can, but at the end of the day, it takes you getting up off your knees to get the job done.
Absolutely.
And that's why you have a lot of we call it building, what they call it, those things that they raise money for in the church.
Building funds. There
you go.
Okay.
Nobody ain't building because they wait on God to build it. But you got a lot of foundations laying the foundation slabs at many of these black churches waiting on God to build something, when it takes you taking a hammer and a nail. That's why Marvin Winans was asking for that money, was for that building fund. That I sure. But we're going to keep that ball going on.
Go ahead, Charles. We're going to move on.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm good.
Okay. You know, and it's amazing that, you know, the constant struggle that I would say that comes from the church is raising money. Why is it that a party, whether the Democrat or Republican party, can just say one word to people and they move and they give 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 and they give? Something wrong with the message somewhere. Okay. Something wrong with the message. Exactly. You know, I mean, really. And if you think about it, people, there's something wrong with the message. Okay. And what you're doing in the process of that. I'm putting that out there for you to think about it. Yeah, well, it's in the making. It's definitely in the making, Charles. But there's something wrong with the message. Because if either party can raise all of these millions of dollars, okay, and we still got a building fund and a man embarrassing a woman because she didn't listen to him correctly. What? in the hell is that? And what do we have going on? But anyway, we got to move on. All right. We're going to go to our wonderful governor right now, just explaining his position on what's happening with Proposition 50 that we're all going to be voting for within the next week after next. Next week. Yeah, next Tuesday. So, thank God for Gavin. I mean, to that extent, not like that, but for him to have been willing to take on the administration, and as you're saying, there's somebody out there really doing something and challenging Trump. He is challenging Trump, head on, like bring it on, So I'm so glad that he is at that particular point in time in addressing issues that he is. So, but anyway, this is a point where he's having a conference about what was coming up, and I like his language and the way he put it. Go ahead, Governor.
These guys aren't fucking around. I know. They're not fucking around. These guys are surgical. And so we have to get our shit together. Problem with the Democratic Party, weakness. Trump is weakness masquerading as strength. Democrats, weakness. And that fundamentally has to be addressed. We can get into the issues. We're dominant in terms of the vast majority of issues. The American people are with Democrats. Not all of them, but the vast majority. But at the end of the day, that's the issue we have to address. Bill Clinton said it better than anybody else. Given the choice, the American people will always support strong and wrong versus weak and right. But what I'm trying to do is not just express strength in terms of communication, but to demonstrate it in terms of the work we're doing on the ground in using our moral authority and our formal authority. That's what Proposition 50 is all about, man. Organizing people to feel empowered, to give them a voice, to give us choice, and to be able to push back against this son of a bitch.
Well said, Governor.
Let me ask this question, and I'm going to read whatever he's putting in my way. When Governor Abbott, when he was redistricting the Texas seats within the state of Texas, did he use the voters of Texas, or did he use the House?
He used the House of Representatives, and they voted for that. That's why the Democrats didn't want to come back, and he was trying to penalize them, put them all in jail because they refused to come back and give a vote because he knew he couldn't get that vote passed if they were there. Wasn't there.
So he didn't actually use the people of Texas to get that through. So in my mind, while I'm sitting here listening to Gavin, and I'm not trying to be funny, but why is that he not use the House, the state House? Why did he not use their vote? Do we not have enough people to vote?
You've got to share a lion's share of Republicans that are Trump supporters that are in the California House.
I can believe it.
They're there. They don't believe. Now, I mean, California let me tell y'all, California is the safest state to be in right now. That's why we're trying to get Charles out of Georgia. But it's the safest state to be in right now. And the legislative piece of that is what Gavin is working for. But this Prop 50 is to help every state. That's why it's called Prop 50. So we'll have enough voting power on the national level.
It's a blueprint.
I don't know about safe. I don't. What do you say? What is safe to you?
What is safe? I think that from all of the other things that are going on that are in the southern states right now are just horrendous. And then the thing that happens with people of color, these unnecessarily stopping and and all those other type of things and putting people in jail and and all that. I'm not talking about the ICE.
It's happening out here now. It's happening out here now. ICE is happening here.
No, I'm not talking about ICE. I wasn't talking about ICE. I'm talking about just in general cause.
All right then, because Trump still got the military on his side now. I'm just when you say safe, I'm just wondering. Because we have what we call certain militias and state troopers, but that's not enough unless they if they uphold the president. That I don't plan it to be safe.
But he's already combating everything that Trump has tried to send out here to do that. But he's got 8 lawsuits against the administration right now going on. So, but anyway, so I'm sorry, and now I'll let you go. One of our thank you. Who is it? Randall, for your comment. We appreciate that. We're gonna just kind of share it with everybody, which was on the other platform. We could have put it up, but go ahead. You're gonna read it just for the part. But he was talking when our last conversation. Go ahead.
But basically, what he meant when we were talking about the church, he mentioned in this comment when we're talking about it. Absolutely. Many of us are far too comfortable with inherited narratives about God and Jesus. Not because those narratives are inherently wrong, but because we often hold them unexamined as if spiritual truth is a museum exhibit rather than a living revelation.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. Thank you for sharing that. We really appreciate that.
Well, that's a cultural situation that we tend to we can't get under control.
Right.
And that's the problem with Black. I hate to say it like this, but it is what it is. The Black community, we have to get out of this mindset that through prayer, through us being in church all day, is going to change everything. And it doesn't work out that way. It doesn't. You have to be proactive,
right?
Which is why certain communities, and you know how we get in our feelings about, why these people got beauty supply shops, why they get 7-Elevens, why they do this and why they do that, because you're not proactive enough to get those things. You're still stuck in this mindset that if I pray, if I do, we have to get organized. We got to get organized, and we're not organized yet, because like that clip with those 2 boys and that pastor, the dysfunction is, and Bishop Wooden and all his craziness, the dysfunction is so it's deep rooted.
Yeah.
Because you cannot come to a solution when you're throwing up all types of crazy ideas and saying my idea is right. No, my idea is right. Why can't we come to an understanding that this is what is needed for us to get ahead, instead of using that Bible or using your ignorant tropes to get us there? It just won't work. We all got to come to a common ground, or come to common ground about what we need and what we want, and then work towards that solution. But we got to get behind closed doors, because we cannot be the entertainment for other folks. Other folks are not our entertainment. So why are we the entertainment for other people? Right. I'm just asking. I'm just wondering why. Right. Why? Right. Truth behind the truth. Why is our dysfunction the entertainment when you ain't seeing no Asian dysfunction? You're not seeing Jewish dysfunction, even though we know that it's there. Right. But is it seen and for everybody else to see? I'm just saying.
I agree. I totally agree. There's no argument here when it comes down to that. At all. I wish that we really would have the honest solution for everyone. And then the other side of that is, I don't know who would really be paying attention to it if it is, because we do have the solution, and we have quoted the solution, for 6 seasons in different platforms and different ways to go forth and approach your life as an individual. Okay. But if you don't stop and realize that you are important, your word is important. You are important. You were created to be important.
You is beautiful. You is important.
It's impotent, right? Exactly. I know. but you really are, and you have to understand what value that you bring to the planet. Okay, and bring to humanity. And there is no permission needed for you to move forward in what is great for you to do. We think that we got to get this this diploma from God to move forward in a general sense, not coming out here throwing the Bible in somebody's face. That's not the purpose. That is not your purpose. Your purpose is to help and build humanity. Okay, if that is your level of faith, do it in the privacy of your home. Okay, because people don't want to hear that. If you got money for them, give them the money and shut your mouth. All right, don't give them the money trying to give them a spiritual lesson about the money that you gave them. Give them the money and shut your mouth. Period. Okay.
But you notice back in the day, and we don't see this as much anymore, but do you recall every Black celebrity and every Black musician would get up there, win their award, and thank Jesus?
Right.
And thank Jesus. Ain't not one white musician, not one white whoever won their award and had thought of Jesus in the first
1 or 2, maybe, but not too many. Maybe 1 or 2, but not too many.
Does that?
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Huh?
Billy Ray Cyrus did in his award.
But that's only a few. I mean, it's not. It's we have had utilized that word, this thing, religion, for, and I'm not trying to belittle our faith. That is not the problem. But when you advertise, because it should be in you.
Right.
It should be all the way in you. You should be walking the walk.
Absolutely.
That's why when you see these people and they sprout Jesus, and next thing you know, they're going through a drug addiction, which we know they should. They're human. The humanity is there. They're not no better than the rest of us.
Right.
But you're supposed to be walking the walk.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of talking the talk, you need to. And that right there, it just behooves me that those people are the ones that are having the issues.
Right.
Instead of the ones who don't get out there and promote and advertise.
Right.
They seem to be doing okay mentally.
Right.
I just wonder.
Right.
I just wonder.
Well, it goes back to, I mean, like you said, celebrities and whatever. And, so many of us, we're on a celebrity platform, if you want to call us that, but, and if you are a person of color, you have been in some way indoctrinated with the idea of the Black Christian community. Okay, in some way, whether you went party life, all your life, none of your life, you were indoctrinated some way. So you are in attendance of that. You feel like it's your responsibility to give credit to God for the success that you have achieved.
Okay.
And that's fine.
It's fine.
But if that is, the only understanding of that is you. I don't know. I don't want to get deep into that because I know I can really get deep into it.
Very provocative topic.
It is. It really
very
is.
Provocative because at the end of the day, I always say it's all right to be rooted in something, but why advertise it? That's why I don't have anything against Buddhists. You wouldn't know a Buddhist unless you have a really good conversation about certain things with one.
True.
They don't go around advertising and throwing Buddhists in your face, like the way that some of these Christians be trying to throw Jesus in your face.
Uh-huh.
You're going to hell because you know how they are. You're going to hell because you ain't doing what thus said the Lord. But how the hell you supposed to know what thus said the Lord? Do you speak to him? Is he on your phone every night and every morning? Right. You don't know what he's thinking or she is thinking.
Right.
You barely know how he or she looks.
Right. Absolutely.
But that's how they be doing it. And it's so sad to sometimes hear this because it's like y'all are condemning me. You don't even know me at all.
Right, absolutely.
And judging me already.
Absolutely.
Well, there is no judgment.
Absolutely.
I'm not judging you.
Absolutely.
I don't even that's the problem with certain Christians that I have. Go ahead, Charles.
I said we do not judge.
Oh, yeah, right.
I don't care. If you ain't hurting me or taking food away from my table like some of these politicians, then I have nothing to say. To be honest with you, you ain't hurting me in doing what you're doing. I have issue with those who are stealing and killing people. Right. And I mean literally.
Right.
But if you doing things that I don't agree with, and it's like at the end of the day, if it's not taking a life or stealing something, that's not a problem with me to be around telling you how to. It shouldn't be my platform to tell you how to live.
Right. You're
doing what you're doing that is best for your life.
Right.
Over here, I'm fine with it.
Right.
Just that's over there.
Right.
Just keep it over there.
I like. I mean, there are
that's
always
just how I feel about it.
There are always going to be things that I think as a group of people that we're going to agree or not agree with. I mean, and that's okay.
That's all right.
But just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean you have to rule it out, or you create this major spiritual awakening about it because you don't agree with it. At the end of the day, and that just goes into different layers and all that type of stuff. We're all indoctrinated with something. All right, as we close, we're all indoctrinated with something, and then how we frame ourselves around that indoctrination is what we're talking about right now. Mm-hmm. Some are frame themselves around extreme. The Woodens, the Winans, they have indoctrinated themselves to an extreme of a belief pattern that they feel that works for him. But at the same time, nowadays they find that it ain't working for them. Okay, it's not working for you.
Well, to go viral these days, it brings you down a peg or two. Really? For a pastor like that, Charles, if you agree, for a pastor to go viral the way Marvin went viral and the way Bishop would be going viral, it can bring you down a peg or two. Well, I like the way Kirk Franklin is going about this. Kirk Franklin is trying in his own little progressive way to understand the situation within the culture as a gospel and a gospel artist, and as well as those who practice the Christian faith.
Right.
He's trying to figure out the psychology of the black man right now. Yeah, and have y'all seen that show? What's it called? Charles? I forget that podcast that Kurt Franklin has. I'm gonna look it up for you. And
I forget too. Yeah.
But he's, I like that way about going about trying to figure things out instead of calling it out and not even going to the source about it. Why? Asking questions. Go ahead.
Certainly, I just say, certainly we need to put this on the shoulders of the church and let them do it.
Yeah, this is why we're in the position we're in right now.
Dan's a king.
That's true.
Dan's a king.
And we got to wrap this, but and I'm glad Kurt Franklin is trying to start a conversation between the different places of humanity and why that they think, but he's using men as the catalyst for that, because we are the leaders, and it is time to step back into a place, not taking it from the female community at all, but we are the leaders. We have dropped the ball. We have majorly dropped the ball for centuries. Okay. And for different reasons, we don't talk about that tonight. At the end of the day, for different reasons why that. But
and big up to Jamal Bryant.
Huh?
Jamal Bryant, from Atlanta.
Yeah,
Jamal, he got his own show.
Oh yeah, and
he's doing that too as well. He's trying, in his own little way.
I think that he needs to put a little bit more Lysol in the closet before he.
Oh boy! Yeah. I was just saying.
You need to put a little bit more Lysol in the
closet. But I ain't judging because
I ain't judging.
That's what he does.
Right. He need to put a little bit more Lysol in the closet before you come with what people need to do. All right. At the end of the day. Okay. And you cannot surpass your behaviors, and then all of a sudden you get this great revelation about everything. Can't do it. Don't work that way. Okay. Like, you want to go back to the Bible? Ask Moses about that. Okay, we ain't gonna go there.
Lock the back door.
Okay.
I ain't judging.
I didn't judge. I just made a statement.
Wife, his congregation seemed to love him.
Like I said, you
lock the doors. Lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Lock the door. That's it. Lock the doors from the truth. Okay. Because there's too many people on the outside trying to get in. You want to lock the doors on them. Okay, I got you.
Don't lock the door because he don't want them to take the money.
I know that, but I'm just reversing it. I'm just reversing that. But anyway, so if he needs some Lysol in his closet, don't take care of it. Anyway, I just have so many things in reference, about the way religiosity should be and the practice of it, and all type of things. I just, me myself personally, and we're gonna cut off of this, is that I just want to see people free to be themselves. And I truly believe that our Creator created us to be free to be ourselves, and any communication about ourselves will come directly down from Him, because he don't need nobody to tell you what to do with your life. Okay, if somebody tells you to do it, that means that you have lost a connection yourself. And you need to find that connection. If you want to consider that prayer or whatever, then you do need to pray. Pray for your connection to get back where you need to be. But all this other stuff, no, because that has nothing to do with that. Find yourself in Him, which He never left you, never did. Your ideas of things and all the type of things or whatever the case may be. Anyway, let me stop. We're about to go off on another tangent. All right, you guys, we love you so much. All right. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We hope that this leads you into another place of thought, and which we like to do each and every week here on The Truth Behind the Truth. Share your comments. Thank you, Randall, for sharing your comment tonight. We really appreciate that. It's good to know that somebody is paying attention and watching. Okay, it's good to know that. So share the show tonight. Share your comment. Just click on share it all over your social media platform if you're on one, and make sure that we like your social media platform as well. All right. Have a blessed and powerful week. We're gonna close out again with a little bit of laughter coming from Aunt Esther and and Fred. All right. So y'all have a powerful week. We will see you in our new studio next week. Okay. This is our closeout of this studio, but we will see you next week in our new studio. All right. So y'all have a powerful, powerful rest of the week, and take care. Be safe. Okay.
Don't you talk about my family.
I'll talk about your family. Listen, for years, people going around saying, black is beautiful. They took one look at your family and said, hold everything.
Well, that's something you wouldn't understand.
We have inner beauty.
Yeah, what?
Inner beauty.
Well, you better put your liver where your face is.
Fred Sanford, you are crude and evil, and most of all, you stupid.
How'd you like one across your lips?
Come on, try.
Come on, now.
Come on, Stumpy.
Stumpy, I'm tall enough to give you 3 of these in your nose. Come on.
Oh, no, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Oh, no, you won't. No, you won't.
Stop it! Would you two stop it?
Tell us.
I'm surprised at you. You mean to tell me you'd hit a lady?
No, I wouldn't hit a lady, but I hit her. Why you always come around here and want to pick a fight with me, Esther?
I didn't come around here to pick no fight. I came here to ask you a favor.
Well, what is it?
I'd like to use your place for our Sunday morning Bible meeting.
Who, you mean you and all them cackling sisters you always be with? This is a junkyard, not a hen house.
All we planned to do was to drink some tea, discuss a few chapters of St. Paul, eat some homemade cookies. The ladies were going to contribute for refreshments.
Well, why do your group want to meet here in my junkyard?
Well, number one, we tried to bring the Spirit to those who need it most. And number two, I felt it would be a good idea for Lamont's sake.
Keep going.
And number three, the places we usually meet in are unavailable.
Bingo.
Well, do we get it or don't we?
No, you don't get it. I mean, that's why you think you come over here and I let you use my place.
I was moved by the words of the good book. He that asketh, receiveth. And he that seeketh, findeth. That's Matthew.
Well, you have asked it and been turned down it. Now find it someplace else it. That's Fred.